Good evening, everyone. My name is Akanksha Vichare, Assistant Editor of Ace Update magazine, and I welcome you all to the online interaction on designing sustainable India. Sustainable development in India encompasses a variety of development schemes. A new generation of more robust, lighter, and more sustainable building materials can help solve many problems in the industry and push current practices to more sustainable. Sustainable architecture is a form of architecture that incorporates a design that is environmentally friendly and built to be sustainable. The distinguished speakers for today's interaction on designing sustainable India are Tushar Mistry from TMDS, Ekant Singh from page 2813, Dr. Mala Singh from PEC Greening India, Mr. Neerav Saraya from Vivan Water and Enviro Solutions Private Limited, and Priya Malik from Urban Design Studio. So my first question to Tushar Mistry. Tushar, how do you assess the role of architects and designers in forwarding sustainable interior designing practices?
Good afternoon, everyone in the panel and the audience, whosoever is joining. When we talk of sustainability in terms of interior architecture, there are seven most important parts that we need to deal in. First is to reduce wastage, conserve and recycle water, use clean renewable energy resources, increase energy efficiency. Also, we need to use a lot of and conserve a lot of natural building materials, so that it becomes more bio-friendly in terms of usage and wastage. Also, minimizing environmental impact. Planet is very important to all of us, and we all coexist with the whole system. So whatever we use in terms of building materials or technology or any substance or elements, that should not be affecting the environment locally and globally as well. So obviously, architects and interior designers do play a major role in maybe in a micro scale, but at a the impact is at a very macro scale. Biophilic, it's a terminology that we use these days is biophilic design. So that means that human connection to the exterior environment, so that all five elements, like the water, there's light, there's earth, so you can maximum utilize what is naturally available and renewable source of energy.
Thank you, Mr. Tushar. Dr. Mala Singh. Mala, how your certifications assist you in achieving global standards compatible with your net zero strategies?
First of all, thank you, Ace Update, for inviting us here. So I'm very surprised that your first question is just directly on the certifications. I was expecting, we should start with some, the objectives of climate change, global warming, and then we will come to the certification process. But definitely when you had asked, certifications are always, it is a well-defined tool actually to do your assessment and self-introspection in terms of design sustainability, in terms of your green supply chain process, in terms of your construction management practices, and in understanding of your life cycle cost assessment of your materials and resources, and also in respect to water management, energy management, and waste management practices, including other aspects of indoor air quality, etc. But the point here is how the certification helps. Let me tell you, if you look into the United Nations goal, sustainable development, because your question is very related to global standards. So I'm coming to the global standards here, then I'll come to India, very specific to India. So when we talk about the global standards, so sustainable development goals, which are SDG goals, 17 goals. Now, if you ask me, every organization in India, even the 1,000 listed companies by Ministry of Corporate Affairs, they all have a mandate to do their disclosure in respect to these SDG goals and responsibility reporting framework. So what happens when the certifications is being used by any corporate for their existing facilities or by a developer for the new project as a green building certification? What happens? You are addressing all these SDG goals in terms of, if you talk about water efficiency, energy efficiency, you talk about circular economy, you talk about resilient design. So all these things are being addressed in the certification process itself. So what happened at the time, because you need some performance monitoring analysis to meet the needs of global standards, which are SDG goals. So what happened? You get the data because you have the prepared data in your hand and you have already assessed that, because there is a third party assessment process in that. So your data becomes a very credible and it has the credential to do the disclosure in a very transparent manner when it comes to the SDG gold standard, which are global, and when it comes to the green building certification program. I'll tell you there are 17 goals, but in green building certification, 14 SDG goals are directly in line with the green building certification programs. This is what the beauty is about. If you ask me in the responsibility reporting system, which is a BSR reporting for the companies and corporates, they're also existing. All the corporates are nowadays adopting, these green ratings for their smaller offices of minimum 500 square feet office. They're also taking green ratings for their entire existing building, because ideally they have to reduce the consumption of resources. So what happens? Certification gives you a tool of assessment. You understand what to buy, how to use, what to use. So you understand the entire concept, holistically. So at the end, what happened? You know your resource consumption in a very quantitative and qualitative manner. You have the data, you know that how much I'm consuming, you know that what is the source, whether it is an alternative source, if the source is relevant, which is a green, which is a climate friendly. So whether you have that sort of understanding here. So what happened then, you have also opportunity to think about whether how can I explore for green energy resources, wind energy, solar energy. So then you compensate entire your resource consumption in such a way. First you do the inventory, you do some mitigation measures like ECM and WCM measures. Then whatever the left part is, you compensate with the alternative, the clean resources of energy and water as well. And finally, you take your journey towards the net zero, because net zero is not something when you have a 100% solar energy or 100% wind energy and you say that my project is net zero. No, it doesn't work like that. First, you have to work on your energy performance index. First, you have to work on your water performance index. First, you need to lower down your resource consumption. And when you bring it to a certain level, which is your desired benchmark to address that particular standard, which is a green building rating system defined. So once you achieve that particular thing, then the balance part is compensated through green energy resources or green water sources. Then you become actually net zero. This is what I hope some of my Tusharji is just giving smile. I think he would be agree.
So we are on the same page when we talk of this terminologies, where even I am talking of biophilic design, where we are talking of reducing the carbon footprints, reducing the even wastage part, using more renewable and natural resources materials, not using NAUF wood products. Even when it comes to interior finishing like VOC paints, you use more so that even the lighter tones of paints and more airlight air ventilation, circulation is being planned. So you don't require any artificial lighting. So that is also a kind of energy conservation. So it starts from a small 10 by 10 cabin and it goes worldwide. So even if as it is, we say the a single action of ours affect the entire universe. It's the same way. We sitting here doing a small thing which is not environment friendly doesn't mean that it is just going to affect my environment of 10 kilometers, but is also going to affect me.
Exactly, Tusharji. I would like to compliment your things, what you said. We always, look into this particular aspect as a pyramid. So when you have an energy, let us say, because she has asked the question net zero energy. So when you have an energy pyramid, so you will see that you are a designer. So first thing is, how do you reduce the energy through energy conservation methods like passive strategies? As you rightly said, that daylighting, adequate ventilation, etc. So when you look into the contemporary design elements and you look into passive design holistically, then you look into the energy conservation part. Then second in the pyramid, that comes the energy efficiency, which comes from the electromechanical equipment and other, various technologies which are more B-star rated or like that. Then third element of the pyramid comes which is a use of green energy. So I think this define your complete pyramid, and you would say that I'm complying with all the codes, my project is certified, or I'm basically in the right direction to achieve the net zero. This is how the whole cycle works.
It will never, I think you never achieve net zero level. It's just that you're working towards it, and that creates
No. We have various projects where we have achieved already net zero. There is a possibility and we have a case studies. It's not like that. Although some people start their journey, first they make their buildings green because their inventory of the resources is already there now. they know that what are the strategies they are following. So at some time, they are moving towards net zero. They have come to 50%, 60%, 70%, like that. And some people, the very big corporates we are working, in that case, they are using 100% their energy consumption on the alternative sources of energy. So what they consume, they have the alternative source. So that is a self-sufficiency part. So that becomes a net zero. So we have a lot of exclusive projects in India now, which are net zero certified, energy certified, which are net zero water certified, which are net zero waste certified. And now we are also working on the net zero carbon framework, which includes all the scope 1, scope 2, scope 3, like that. IGBC, because I represent as the vice chair of Green Building Council, Mumbai chapter. So there, this net zero rating system has been defined very well. And people are doing, corporates are adopting it. So this is what now, tools are available, certifications are there. It is just to choose and what suits to you. And how do you allocate your resources and manpowers, and you start working your journey in the same field. Yeah.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mala and Mr. Tushar, for your inputs, for such deep insights, and you have really made it very easy for us to understand those. Moving on to my next question to Mr. Ekant Singh. Ekant, what are your thoughts on going beyond contemporary furniture designs for interiors with green ideas?
So the design sector keeps on moving from one genre to another genre, and there's a change keeps on happening. There has been a long time that we have been using contemporary furniture, and we have been manufacturing, we have been giving design ideas on the furniture, on the other aspects of it. But now we are moving beyond the contemporary phase from here on, I can say from 2023. There is a lot of use of a recyclable furniture as a part of a green living, what we talk about. We can recycle and upcycle the furniture which we have exactly. We can reclaim the furniture also. All the furniture which we buy, which people throw, they want to sell it off from this garage sales or otherwise. We bring them here, we dismantle, and we use the same wood to recycle another part of the furniture so that the resources are not consumed as such. We also buy a lot of furniture, and which is moving towards the trend is that there is a sustainable forest which is there, which Dr. Mala Singh will agree to it. There is a forestation which is happening, in which mainly people grow the trees and so the saplings, so that those trees can be used only for the furniture manufacturing or for the usage of the interiors or design perspective. Not that the usual trees which we grow and they have been cut and they have been the deforestation has been done. So a lot of sustainable forests have been there, which have been surfaced, and people are using. I myself use a lot of wood from there. When I go to manufacture and buy wood from outside, I check that where is the wood source, what is the wood source. I maximum try that we should recycle or upcycle the wood which we'll be using, engineering wood or whatever wood we are using in the furniture, inside or outside, which is available. There are a lot of finishing materials which are eco-friendly and green, which are available in the market. Like Dr. Mala Singh has given a lot of insight about what the green balance is all about. What should we do? What are the certifications available? There are a lot of certifications available in the market, which a lot of manufacturers have taken, and there are a lot of manufacturers who applied for it. That when you go for all of those points and you produce X amount of manufacturing in the range of furniture or designing or anything else, and you can reuse or use that furniture. And we are moving ahead to the sustainable part of it.
I think I would like to add here, Mr. Khan, for IGBC and CII has more than 5,000 Green Pro certified products in the country now. So you ask any product in the country like steel, cement, even your doors, frames, wood-based application materials, every material, they are getting certifications now.
Certifications, yeah.
Because they are eco-labeling, they want to design using LCA approach, life cycle cost assessment approach.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So in the green buildings, we use those FSC certified products also we encourage. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ekant and Dr. Mala, for your views on contemporary designs in mainstream furniture with green designs. Moving on to Mr. Neerav, when we discuss about net zero construction, Mr. Neerav, we must also consider water usage, which is equally important, right? So, what steps will help the industry to push the ideas of net zero water even further?
See, for urban areas, for specifically residential complexes, there are two important factors to be followed. One is 3 R's: reduce your water consumption, reuse maximum water through water treatment plants, that is recycling plants, and reuse that water at a maximum level. And second factor would be to do maximum rainwater harvesting. You collect the water, you reutilize that water during the monsoon season, and at the same time the excess water is to be harvested, has to be percolated, recharged into the ground maximum. Now in industries, so coming to the industries part, industries whatever during the monsoon should collect the water and first reutilize that water. In urban areas, due to the problem of the availability of land, that may be not possible, but in the industries, factories, the water can be collected and reutilized. And now industries are going for ZLD, zero liquid discharge, and in that even the rainwater, we have seen that people are collecting, industries are collecting rainwater, reutilizing at maximum level, and consuming that water and recycling maximum quantity of water. So that effectiveness, that seriousness, that awareness has started coming in India, and people are seriously doing, and people are now going for even planning for water credits for at international level.
Thank you so much for sharing your views. Moving ahead to Ms. Priya. Priya, what kind of regulations are required to ensure that urban areas have the desired space available for landscaping in the future?
First of all, thank you, Anjal, for having me here. And it's an honor to be a part of this panelist, such experienced people. And I would just say that, as Tushar sir said and Mr. Ekant also added, the natural lighting is very important. Plus, Ekantji mentioned that there are trends, which we also have to cope up with, and it's constantly changing. So keeping everything in mind, I think there are a few points that we can stick at, and which will, for me, this topic is basically, sustainable development is all about, if we are living a better life now in present, it will be a better future as well. So I think there are a few key points. For example, maybe skylights should be made compulsory, in the buildings, because that will have more natural lighting, and it will reduce more electricity usage and everything. Plus, since I am a landscape specialist, we constantly focus on initiating solar panels in the terrace gardens and everything. So I think it should be made compulsion that currently it's just a choice to install solar panels at your residence or not. But I think in coming years or now, it's high time we can make it compulsion that it has to be there, and we should have some dedicated area for the solar panels and everything in residences. Plus, I think since government takes care of the planning ki theek hai, itne area mein you have this much of the green area, or this is the park and everything, but I think they should also focus on how much greenery one has in their own private residence. So I think some specific amount of greenery can be included. You have to keep this much green area, you have to plant these many plants maybe in your boundary area, or you have to give some additional setbacks for that. So these are few things that we can keep in mind.
I think it has been mandatory. I think before few days, the rule has come that you have to have certain amount of vertical garden in your projects.
Actually, that's a Miyawaki. That's not
Yeah.
good.
I was being a landscape specialist. I just going about the practicality about things. I don't think everybody can handle vertical gardens that smoothly, because it requires a lot of maintenance, and ultimately it goes down like very quickly. So I think rather than vertical garden, we should actually focus on real plantation.
But here,
So in our projects,
yeah.
that is what we do generally in our projects also, when we do a lot of commercial properties as well, and the show apartments and customer experience centers, and also we always insist on having live plants rather than putting artificial plants.
My main focus is about the builder properties that currently being considered more than apartments. In that, if you see, they're covering everything. So there's only the terrace guy, the top floor guy is getting the terrace area or the open area where he can add his plants and everything. But the rest of the people on the floor are just with no space. They just have their balconies. So I think that can be included in the setbacks and additional things can be added.
I think I'll just do counterpart of your thoughts here.
Yeah.
So let's talk practical. It looks very nice when you talk about, we know that we need to have green area, but now this is a time when we are talking about urban forest now.
Yeah.
And how we are developing that urban forest, that's a big challenge in the cities like Mumbai. But the point here is, because let us focus on the Mumbai. Let us, for example, we talk about Mumbai. Let's take a pilot model, okay? You will see that it is entirely concrete jungle and you have some patches of green spaces, but more than 70% area is now encroached with the slums. And when you look into the development scenario, like development control rule regulations, because we are dealing with so many projects and I know the rule and regulations, how they are, varying with typology of the regulations applicable to your project. Like suppose it is a rental scheme, it is a SRA scheme, or it is a normal DCR 33 or normal, new greenfield project. So generally, for example, Maharashtra government has put a 10% RG area. But now city like Mumbai, you have to accommodate your car parking, you need basements. I'm talking about practical, huh? We can discuss here, we can talk, we want this, we want that. But practically what happened?
Precisely. I'm with you.
Yes.
So am
Because
I.
I do a lot of the builders. Let me tell you, we also do the landscape work in that. So what we do generally, because your plot size is a constraint and your basement line is, too cozy, even you don't have a, I would say, fire escape area is also too cozy. Even your existing trees are also, they're also in pain there. You don't know how to adjust those and restore those trees also, because the fire movement, that area is also there. So what we do in that case, because you have no choice, because talking natural mother earth, it looks very good in the 50-acre plot, 30-acre plot. When I'm going little outside of the Mumbai, then I'm talking, and I have a lot of projects where I could show you my IT Dharwad project, IM and all that, where we have done beautiful landscaping and all that. But in Mumbai city, when we deal with the, in a day-to-day life, I'm sitting in Andheri right now, in Fun Republic area, Andheri West, the biggest commercial area. All around buildings are there. So you can't find any mother earth. All is a hardscape. So the point here is, if you don't think about the strategies which are applicable to the roof built structures, where you can grow the greenery, you have to have there here. You have no choice. Even my projects in Thane, which are platinum rated, is such a small plot of redevelopment societies. We have still put 30% green area, using the conventional strategies also in the vertical scaping also. We have used car parking towers, RCC walls for that. So it is just what you want to do and you have to do, you must do. And coming to the Tushar Mistri's point, the government has made it mandatory. That is a Miyawaki technology, which is basically called to be as a mini forest. So you grow a lot of plants in the 100 square feet area, and that government has made it, if your plot is 10,000 square feet area, you have to have it. And already we have done in many projects, let me tell you. So because they know that
it's a good initiative by government to have that, at least somewhere to start with.
आपको बॉम्बे में अगर green add करना है, तो कहीं भी जो भी patch है, wherever it is available, you have to add green. Even my balcony in my house, I have to add green, so that I can see the sparrows at my home.
You're focusing on the same thing. If you have a small balcony or a big terrace or a big backyard, you're focusing on that. Just,
But Abhi, there is no time left with us. I'll tell you, my dear, the climate change and global warming issue we are facing, we have to bring nature to our buildings now.
Yeah.
We need to rebuild entire landscape of the city using the concept of now urban forest, from urban jungle to urban forest. Definitely. This is the only need of the hour. And in green buildings, we have already benchmarks. We fulfill that. Otherwise, we don't give certifications. Yeah. Or maintenance is very important. Don't take it as a stress. Because if you take a stress of climate change and its consequences, and you compare it the consequences of maintaining those landscape, you know where is the payoff. So
But
we know that.
maintenance is supports are available. I mean, we
Somewhere
have
you
not
have to
faced any
compromise.
issues where we have
Yes.
done it in the balconies in the houses and we maintain them. We take
Yes, you
AMC.
can.
Money can
People
buy
are so
AMCs. You don't
Exactly.
have to do practically by yourself.
I
It's a
get it, but I'm just saying, if we compare of people, wanting to have vertical, I'm just wanting it for
I'm just
everybody.
not quoting vertical garden as such, but at least the societies
Conservation
can
and
install
the
that in the parking
Exactly.
space.
Yes.
It's not an individual effort, but a society can do it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Certain landscaping in the parking area where you cannot have potted plants or trees. At least you can go vertical. This Mumbai city is all about going vertical. We don't have landmarks.
Yes.
We have high
Yes.
rises.
Even
So
podiums
we
also
have to
you
work
can
within
utilize.
that space, how Mala just said. So we have to work within the given space, and that is how we can bring in go vertical when the trend is to go vertical. That's
Yeah,
the
because-
only organic way of doing it.
Yes, because Tushar, you must be knowing that in SRA schemes, we have only 8% RG area. You need to accommodate, SRA, your tenants also, and the sale part also. From where you will bring that green area? So that's the point
But
here.
I can show you photographs of SRA buildings. At least they all have plants in their whatever window line boxing grills they have. They all have plants. In fact,
It's
they are
beautiful.
more
It's
green
beautiful.
conscious than
Beautiful.
anyone else.
I'm very happy if they are doing that. We should encourage, spread the awareness, sensitize those people.
So certain projects, even in Thane, you must have seen by Neelkant and all, they have a patch of landscape part which is being maintained by the society, and it's a compulsion. You cannot remove that particular. It's built in RCC box. So such initiatives can really help.
Even TMC bylaws are itself very good for when you talk about the tree protection, and there are very good must and don't, do's and don't is very good there. Integral part of the policies itself. And I think she also mentioned the solar thing. I want to answer her. Actually, this is a discussion because where is she? Yeah, I can see her. So Priya, because we are doing hundreds of projects where, we have a lot of discussions with the builder, and when we put the solar energy in the new building, in the existing buildings, let me tell you what we do, because you have a roof constraint in the size,
Yeah.
So what you do in that case, we have a green tariff policy in most of the regions of India now. So what we do a third party agreement, PPA, and we are wheeling that green power, which we call offsite. Okay, so like for example, one of my project is in BKC, which is a State Bank of India corporate office. So my total annual consumption was 3 megawatt. 3 megawatt is a connected load. So firstly, we reduced that in 3 years by doing a lot of retrofitting and all that. Now 67% of my basically the green energy part is on the wind energy PPA agreement, and the balance 33% part is we have done a 5 years agreement with the Tata electricity body, Tata Power. And now what we are purchasing, we are paying 66 paisa extra per unit. So we are not putting any capex, or we are not doing something with an additional cost or something, but monthly we are paying. In fact, my house, my own dwelling unit, I have the opportunity to purchase the green power. I am paying 66 paisa per unit extra for my bill, hardly 300-400 rupees extra. Yeah. I'm not putting solar because I don't have place, but I can purchase the green power.
I think there should be more awareness about these things than in that case, because not many people, majority of people doesn't have that kind of knowledge. So I think there should be more awareness.
Thank you, my dear panelists, for such a deep insights and sharing your views. We also have one more question in the Q&A box. I would request you all to look to it and you can type your answers down. Thank you so much, Dr. Mala, for your inputs, and thank you all the panelists. We are running out of time, and I would request Achal to proceed with the closing statement, please.
Thank you, panelists, for exchanging your valuable thoughts on today's topic, Designing Sustainable India. We hope you have enjoyed it. Before wrapping up today's session, we would like to thank our distinguished panelists, Mr. Tushar Mistry, Mr. Ekant Singh, Dr. Mala Singh, Nirav Saraiya, and Priya Malik.
Thank you.
For viewers who have joined us today, we would like your feedback and encourage you to stay connected with us via our social media handles. ACE Update is available on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also download our app from Google Play and the App Store. We also request our viewers to stay tuned for future interactions. With that, today's interaction has now come to a close. Thank you and goodbye.